So for this first part, most of our lesson is just vocab and just kind of the intro to this chapter. So make sure you're filling it out because there is some vocab in there. Not a lot, but a little bit. All right. So what we are looking at for this whole chapter are transformations. Transformations are a change in position, shape, or size. That's all a transformation is. And we're going to look at 3 of them specifically. We're going to look at translate, rotate, and reflect. We're only doing 1 today, but those are kind of the 3 main ones.
Yay, just 1.
And then we're also going to do some scale stuff, but not for a while. So, for example, these are all transformations. So if I have a domino, I could flip it over, right? That's a transformation. I could have a slide. That's
slide it
transformation.
down.
I could rotate it. That's one. I could also stretch or shrink it out, but we're not doing that right now.
Too much.
When we do these, we have 2 pieces. We have a pre-image, which is our first shape, and then we have image, which is the shape after the change. Or, in other words, pre-image is the first one.
After.
Image is the second. So it's kind of backwards. You'd think image and then something else, but it's a little backwards.
No,
Pre-image is first, image is second.
Seems about right actually, because it says pre-image, like
I
it's
know.
saying pre. Yeah, that makes sense.
But everybody always gets these switched around.
Was it post-image?
Yeah,
Oh.
you'd think it'd be post-image. That makes more sense to me, but
yeah, post.
I didn't make up this math, so I don't get to decide. So on these shapes here with our dominoes, pre-image is the first one, image is the second one. So before I flipped, it was pre, then it was image. Pre, and then image, pre, image.
Pre.
If I'm going to look at some of these next ones, we're going to be looking at rigid motion for a while. Rigid motion is the same shape, but in a different spot.
A different spot.
Yeah. So in rigid motion, imagine you take your paper, you can move it around, you can flip it over, you can rotate it, but if it has rigid motion, you don't fold it up or like flatten it out even farther. So rigid motion, you have something that can't like change the size. So a paper, your calculator, your Chromebooks, those don't change sizes. Something like Play-Doh that you could squish out or expand in, that doesn't have rigid motion because you can change the size. But if it's like you take a single shape and just flip it over, that's rigid motion. So for example, in this first one right here, I have my pre-image is here in front, and then my image. Does the shape, the size change?
No.
So this has rigid motion. I'm going to go RM because I don't want to write the whole thing out. That has rigid motion. What about the second one here? Does that have rigid motion?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
same shape, different spot. So this one has, it's write it down right, has rigid motion. What about the last squares?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh,
The second one is bigger, right? Our image is bigger. So not rigid motion because it got bigger. And when you look at these, you see how we have our pre-image on all these. Let's actually just look at the triangle here. Is A, B, C. And then you see in our image, it's got these little apostrophes. After we change a shape, all of our images are going to have these apostrophes. And we read that as prime. So this is A prime. Then I have B prime, and then I have C prime. That is how we know where our image is. My pre-image doesn't have those. So if you don't have the words pre-image or image, whatever doesn't have the little apostrophes is your pre-image. That's your first one. Your image has these apostrophes at the end. And as you go through these, well, we'll see that later. You can actually add on apostrophes and get double primed or triple primed. So they would look like, for example, if this was exactly the same shape, we could go like this and have A double prime, B double prime. And then we could go triple primed. A triple prime, B triple prime, C triple prime. Just so you know. We're not really going to do it now, but we'll get that way.
Seems complicated.
It's just how you separate your shapes. So you know that they're different. Because maybe you take this triangle and you translate one way, you flip it another way, and then you rotate it a third way. Maybe there's 4 triangles on here. That's how you split it apart. How you show the different ones. Alright. When we talk about transformations, this is how we label it. We start with the original, our pre-image, and then we label our image. and we put our prime pieces in there, our apostrophes. And we gotta keep it in the same order. So for example, in this, J goes to J prime, right? So we had to write J prime first. So J goes to J prime. K went to K prime, and Q went to Q prime. Sometimes they don't go to primes, they'll just go to other letters. So for example, J could go to X, K could go to Y, Q could go to Z. That happens sometimes. I don't like doing it that way, but sometimes your book does it. It's kind of annoying. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, I think. My throat's hurting.
I didn't notice.
I can tell. My throat hurts.
I could tell. When you started talking.
I feel like I'm gargling gravel. Ugh. Alright. Everybody got these down? You got these down, Joseph?
Yeah.
You're playing a game, aren't you? Get off that.
Oh, please so deep.
Alright. So, what we're going to be doing today is translating. And a translate means each point moves the same distance and direction.
Okay.
So we actually did a translation for your warm-up. You went up and right. That was just a translation. So translate means we're going to rotate, or no, excuse me, translate means we're going to move same distance and direction. If we rotate something, which is twist around, or flex, which means we're going to flip it, you don't have a translation. So you can only translate if you move it in the same distance and direction for each point or each corner. So we are going to be working with translations for the most part today. We're actually like halfway through this already.
Cool name.
Pretty easy. Especially this
If
first
you
one.
rotate with like another translation, okay.
What did you say?
I asked him a question, but he's focusing on something.
Did you ask him if his lips got crusty?
Do they get crusty? 'Cause mine do. Mine get like... trying to explain.
You know I'm recording right now. Show this to your mom.
Gotta
That's the
take
weirdest
detail.
questions.
Wait, go back.
Oh no.
Your lips are chapped, Lark. Get some chapstick.
This got my pressure point.
You got it, Trista? You still working?
Shoot, how am I-
Wait, if you got your pressure point, wouldn't you not move that arm?
I don't know, man. It hurt. I did
If it's a
pressure
put-
point.
good.
I don't know.
You got this one, Kylie? You still working? Alright, so we are going to translate
I did that.
this
Oh,
triangle
Oh crap.
2 units right and 3 units down.
Okay.
And it's really pretty simple. We're going to take each corner
You.
and we are going to move it each corner 2 right, 3 down. So I'm going to start with my top one here. I'm going to go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 down.
Did you hear the question?
And I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to make this bottom corner go right 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 down. This one is going to go right 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 down.
2 left, 2 left, 1 more.
1, 2, yeah, I miscounted.
What a
Pull
noob.
off. You shut up. You crusty lips.
I'm done. That was easy.
And because we're doing the entire triangle, connect your dots.
Oh no. Oh, I already did that.
So, there's actually a shorter way to write this. I mean, that was pretty easy. You move everything 2 right, 3 down. That's all you need.
Fun.
There's a shorter way to write it. And that way is to use a capital T, and then we do these little, like little arrow brackets, and then we put some numbers. So I'll write this a little bit bigger, just so you can see it better. So capital T, and then really little brackets of 2, -3. Okay. The T stands for translate. And it has to be a capital T. It's not as big a deal for T, but we're going to have a capital T, or excuse me, we're going to have a capital R and then a lowercase r. Will be, and there's a difference. Capital is, I think it's reflect, and then rotate is lowercase. I always forget, but we'll get to this. So the capital does matter. And then, after that, this one, our first one, is how much x changes. how much x changes. And then the last one, a different color, is how much y changes.
Do we need to write this down?
Not if you can remember it. Good call, Mike. So, T stands for translate. This 2 is how much your x changes. When I go right, I'm adding on 2, so it's a positive 2. The second one here is how much my y changes, and because I'm going down negative. So it's a negative 3. So the first one is how much your x changes, second one is how much your y changes. And we are just going to practice this a little bit more and then we're done. Pretty easy to start with. I'll wait until you get it down low.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Did you doubt me, Ryan?
No.
Oh, which one moved? Oh, okay, you put one. Okay. Come on. Get him. Take it.
Do I need to take that Chromebook, Ryan?
And
Joseph.
Oh, wait, I don't need.
You're looking guilty.
No, he took
You
my.
glanced
no.
guiltily my
He
way.
called it. He knew I was gonna do that. Oh, that hurts.
Got it, Lark?
Oh,
Kylie, you got this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
huge.
Alright, so we are going to, on this next one, I got triangle ABC here. I'm going to do my first one, which is translate -5 and then 1. So
Oh.
you go translate, because that's a negative for
So
my
it goes
x.
to your left,
That's going to be left.
and then that goes to your down.
It's
No,
going to be
up,
because
yeah.
it's positive.
Yeah, positive.
So
yeah.
it's x change, y change. X is going to be -5, so I'm left 5. Y is +1, so I'm going up. And then after that, it's the shape. And then this is just the shape we're looking at. So translate left 5, up 1, ABC.
From what? Each thing?
Yep, for each corner. So I'm going to start here with A. It's going to go left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. You'll put that dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1.
We just have to do one,
2,
right?
3,
Once.
4, 5, up 1. What do you mean?
Like-
Like you don't go, yeah, you don't go left 5 and up 1 again.
Okay. I figured that's what I meant. Yeah.
What? I did
Alright.
wrong.
You take every corner, go left 5 and up 1. And because I translated this shape, right, it's not my original shape, I'm going to label this, and because it's the first shape I did, or it's my first image, I'm going to label this corner right here is going to be A primed, this corner here is going to be B primed, this last one is C primed. That's how I know it's my first one. It's the first shape I did. So my first shape, my first image, first image. So A primed, B primed, C primed. And we're not going to worry about the coordinates for right now. Don't worry about the slash part.
What did you have to put coordinates for?
Now you have to change the whole mark off.
Side or angle A, B, C?
What?
Or point A, B, and C?
I say that one more
For the
time.
coordinates,
Yeah.
you have to put A and then B and C.
Yeah, you'd have to put the primed ones. So you'd have to say A primed equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you guys can do that. I'm not worried about it. So let's not waste time.
Okay, cool.
All right. You guys want to do an in class right now, or you want to try another one together?
In class.
All right. I want you to do this one in the box. So I want you to translate -3, 6, -3 on your x, 6 on your y, shape ABC. So your original shape. So this shape right here is what you're going to change. Not the A prime to B prime to C prime, this original one. So on your own paper, translate it, -3, 6, and then put it on there.
Do I have to put the coordinates?
No. No, just put the new shape in.
Are we doing it?
Where's your other one? You only have one on there.
On what?
Yeah, right there. Do the one in the box now.
This one?
That one right there in the box.
Oh, snap, it's my turn.
And then after this, as long as you guys do pretty good, that'll be it. We'll be done. Barely. Did you do already, Joseph? Space bar.
You missed him.
Should have ran.
Oh,
Missed him.
Messed me up.
all right. He's looking pretty good. Walking around checking them. So real quick, I'll put this on here, and then that'll be it. So -3, 6 means I'm going left 3 and then up 6. So -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's where I have to do some other stuff. That's fine.
A.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's B.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's C.
So my shape is going to be up here. And I do need to label the corners. Since they started off labeled, I need to keep them labeled. So this is going to be A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Like that. So that's supposed to be 2 apostrophes because they're double prime, but they look like 11s. But yeah, it's good enough. So because it's my second shape, it is double prime. My second image, I should say. You ready to be done, Mark?
Huh?
You ready to be done?
No.
Well, I can add more on.
No. Okay.
Let's do the exit ticket then. That's it.
Alright, cool.
Alright, that's it. Do your exit ticket if you haven't yet. I will turn on Scrab and put your homework. Actually, I'll probably print your homework off because it's done in the book. Just give me a minute. We'll get going. Nice job.
Oh,